Good afternoon, Plateau State, good afternoon, Nigeria. Welcome back to this radio engagement that seeks to define the role and the practices for artisanal and small-scale miners in energy transition and climate change mitigation in Nigeria, where we discuss key issues and innovations shaping Nigeria's future in energy, mining and climate action. I am Stephen Ego. This is Radio Nigeria, Highland 101.5 FM Jos. Today we are excited to explore the inspiring role of young people and youth-led organizations in Nigeria's energy transition. Youth organizations are emerging as powerful advocates, innovators and leaders, helping drive the nation towards clean energy and sustainability. In this episode today, we shall explore youth organizations driving Nigeria's energy transition. We will learn how these organizations are working to make a difference, their impacts on policies and the unique challenges they face. Today, we are joined by a wonderful guest, and he's not new to this household. He's part and parcel of this household. He is none other than Mr. Duke Oboreke, a pace setter and leader of one of Nigeria's influential youth-driven organizations. Sir, good morning and welcome on the program.
Is it still morning?
Morning, no, afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, listener. I'm excited to be here. Thank you very much.
All right, listener, stay tuned for the rest of the program. We shall be back right after this short timeout. Listener, you're welcome back, and if you were just joining us, this is Radio Nigeria, Highland FM Jos. My name is Stephen Ego, and welcome to this radio engagement brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative. And our focus today is on the role of youth organizations as emerging powerful advocates and innovators and leaders helping to drive the nation towards clean energy and sustainability. All right. My guest in the studio is Mr. Duke Oboreke, a pace setter and leader of one of Nigeria's influential youth-driven organizations. And if you're just joining us, this is the third installment of this radio engagement, and the program will be divided into two segments. The first segment is the interview segment, where you shall be hearing from my guests, and the second segment is the phone-in segment, where you get to be part and part of the discussion, where you can call in and make your comments, observations, or ask my guest a question or two. So let's get the ball rolling. First of all, to start with, many of our listeners may wonder how are youth organizations advocating and influencing policies, and in particular as it concerns clean energy. Could you give us some examples of any effective youth-led initiatives or campaigns?
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to contribute to the discussion. Well, it's not possible for the world to transit to clean energy without the active involvement of young persons. We have close between 1.8 billion to 2 billion people as young persons between 14 and 25 years old. That's a significant, huge segment of the world population. That is why it's not possible. So the young population are actively contributing in advocacy, that is engaging with policymakers in community sensitization, in capacity building, in also gaining capacity, because you know that this is a high capacity sector. So the young people are transiting from one capacity area to another capacity area to be able to effectively contribute to the energy transition in Nigeria and in the world. Like what Ziva is doing now. This platform that Ziva has provided is an aspect of advocacy, because I'm sure that some policy members or some policy makers or their aides are listening in. So this is an aspect of contributing to advocacy in shaping policies, because usually the most projects or all projects are policy driven, except you have clear cut policy concerning a sector. Implementing or making progress in that sector becomes very important, becomes very difficult. Although Nigeria is a case in study where we have wonderful policies, but it's another issue implementing those policies. But globally, every progress, every government initiative is driven by policy. So the young people, youths across the world, for instance, there is the student energy summit that is globally held every year. The last one held 2023 in Dubai, and young people from all over the world converge to contribute to fashioning in policies to improve energy utilization, energy and energy transition, and they interact with key players in the energy sector worldwide to share learning, and also, you know, young people are very innovative and also contribute their innovation in fashioning policies for energy transition. In Nigeria, a lot of young youth groups and young persons are making tremendous contributions across Nigeria. If you go to the northwest, the young people have gained capacity and they are lighting up IDP camps using solar power, and as a result of the capacity they have gained from capacity building opportunities. So, and they are also showcasing or modeling the use of clean energy to their people, so that their people are seeing how clean energy can be very effective in either domestic chores or improving general livelihood. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much, sir. All right, can you tell us more about these specific roles, specifically the roles that these youth organizations are playing in Nigeria's energy transition, and why this work is so crucial at this point in time?
Okay, let's take Ziva for instance. I'm aware that Ziva is conducting studies in the Middle Belt on artisanal mining and their role they play in energy transition. I know that that study is ongoing. That is a contribution by a youth organization, because Ziva is a youth organization. For instance, YERAC too is providing opportunities for young people to acquire skills in solar technology. That is an effective role a youth organization. And you know that YERAC is youth-focused, youth-driven organization. So providing opportunities for young people to acquire, to transit from just barbing and hairdressing to a more sustainable source of livelihood, because we know that clean energy is more sustainable, like sun since this world is created, we have not said that one day we woke up and there was no sun. So it's very sustainable. So our young people are contributing severally. They are conducting advocacies. They are doing community engagement for community sensitization. Young people are even participating in tree planting to afforestate, to restore communities that have suffered desert encroachment, both in the northwest and the northeast. Young people are contributing in environmental sanitation, because that is an aspect of climate action. They are cleaning up the environment to make the environment cleaner. So across the Nigeria, young people are contributing effectively for through climate action and for sustainable and clean energy. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ziva. All right, still focusing on the young people. What are some of the unique strengths that these youth organizations bring in terms of the energy transition movement?
Okay, you know that.
And what are the ways are they able to make more impact?
Okay.
And they can stand out from other groups?
Like I have said, we have close to 2 billion young persons. That's a tremendous resource, because they have the energy, they have the skills, they have the knowledge, and young people these days know far more than I knew when I was their age. So their capacity level is tremendous. If you go to Gadagio, there is a young man who is actively contributing to biofuel. He builds capacity of households. He installs biofuel technology. He builds the capacity of how to use it. So young people are across the country are conducting sensitization. They are engaging with their communities, sharing knowledge, expanding the horizon, and helping people to appreciate. They are even modeling, because one of the recent surveys say most young people will prefer electric cars than fossil fuel powered cars. So by acquiring electric cars, they are also contributing to clean energy transition. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, what specific actions should these youth groups take in order to promote this sustainable energy within their local communities now?
Well, you cannot overemphasize advocacy. Getting those duty bearers to make appropriate policies, to invest appropriately, because if there are no policies and there are no requisite investment to provide the needed infrastructure for effective transition, it's not possible. So young people must continue to engage with the state actors to be able to come up with effective policies, not just the policies, but monitor to ensure that those policies are implemented. Then the government and the duty bearers are investing adequately in promoting energy transition. Nigeria has an energy transition policy. There is a federal initiative on compressed natural gas. Compressed natural gas, and you know that most of the drivers of that project are young persons, and they are making tremendous contribution to the clean energy transition. So young people need to continue to acquire and update their skills in order to make the needed contribution that they need to make for energy transition to be achieved in Nigeria. Nigeria committed to, is it 2030 or 2050? I think 2050.
All right, sir. All right, thank you very much. All right, looking at the future, what prospects do you see for youth organizations especially in areas such as artisanal, small-scale mining. Are there emerging roles or opportunities in this sector that can be passed to the young Nigerians?
Well, there have always been roles, and I don't think that the young persons will need to wait for it to be passed to them, because if they wait for it to be passed to them, they might never get it. What they need to do is to acquire the requisite capacity to become relevant in that sector, to be able to play. So there are roles in the value chain of the mining sector, several roles, providing what do you call it, safety equipment for mining, building the capacity of miners for a safer mining practice, and building the capacity of miners on environmental safety and sustainability, assessing cheap funds, becoming a part of technology hubs across the country. Young people, there are quite a number of roles that young people can play in the sector to promote the sector. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, so we'll take one more question before we head off to our break to make phone lines available for the listeners out there to be part of the program. Can you share any success stories of Nigerian youth organizations in making tangible impact in their communities or on a larger scale?
Well, like I've mentioned across the country that youth organizations and youth groups are making tremendous successes. I mentioned in Adamawa State, where youth are participating in clean energy projects, providing solar energy to IDP camps. I've also cited the activities of Ziva in providing this platform. They are in building. I know that Ziva substantially build the capacity of artisanal miners, build capacity of artisanal miners on safety and sustainability. And I also know that Ziva makes effort to build cooperatives, to put those miners in cooperatives. Ziva is a youth organization. I have also mentioned Yara providing opportunities for young people to acquire skills in solar technology, solar installation, solar maintenance, and the rest. So there are several other youth groups and youth organizations. They are making serious efforts. I've mentioned the young man who is in Gadabu here in Plateau State, and there are several other young people in Jos who are into solar technology, wind technology. You know, these things are not completely new. I remember that in my secondary school in Nakam, that we used to have a wind-powered borehole. There was no generator. We didn't have any generator. That borehole was very sustainable. So these things are not new. It's just because our culture of not maintaining things very well.
All right, thank you very much. All right, listen, at this particular point in time, we shall be taking a break and to hear from our sponsor, Ziva Community Initiative. And when we come back, the phone line will be made available for you to call in and be part of the program. Do stay with us. afternoon and welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Radio Nigeria, Highland 101.5. As from just my name is Stephen Eagle, and you're welcome to this radio engagement brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative with a focus on ASM, that is artisanal and small scale mining in energy transition and climate change mitigation in Nigeria. And our focus, or rather our topic of discuss today, is youth organizations as emerging and powerful advocates, innovators and leaders helping drive the nation's move towards clean energy and sustainability. And my guest in the studio is Mr. Duke Oboreke, a pace setter and leader of one of Nigeria's influential youth-driven organizations. All right, the number for you to call if you want to be part of the program is 080-3457-8825. That's 080-3457-8825. So call us and be part of the program. This is the call-in segment. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you a young Nigerian involved or wants to get involved in energy transition efforts, or do you have questions regarding our topic for today? Give us a call, 080-3457-8825. That's 080-3457-8825. All right, you can also follow our sponsor Ziva Community Initiative on their following handles. Facebook is Ziva Community Initiative. That's for Facebook. Ziva Community Initiative, that's the name there. For Instagram, it's Ziva Community NG. Ziva Community NG, that is for Instagram. While on YouTube is Ziva Community Initiative. YouTube, Ziva Community Initiative. Once more, this is the call-in segment. We would love to hear your thoughts. Are you a Nigerian, a young Nigerian involved or wants to get involved in energy transition efforts, or do you have questions regarding our topic of discuss for today? Give us a call on 080-3457-8825. 080-3457-8825. My guest is Mr. Duke Oboreke, a pace setter and youth engagement advocate. All right, so while we wait for the calls to come in, can we talk about challenges? Okay, we've talked about all the good stuff. We definitely know that there are always challenges. So we know there are challenges as well. What are some of the major barriers the youth or youth organizations may face in pushing for energy reform, and what kind of support is most needed? Okay, before you get to that, I do believe we'll have a call coming in. Hello? Hello? Okay, can you speak up a bit more? Can barely hear you. Yes, good afternoon and welcome on the program. What is your name and where are you calling us from? Okay, Dogara from Kaduna. Good afternoon and welcome. Please go ahead. Hello, Dogara. Hello, Dogara, are you still there? Alright, we seem to have lost that call from Dogara. Dogara, do endeavor to call back so that you can finish your comments and contribution on the program. Listen out, the number to call is still 080-3457-8825. That's 080-3457-8825. So, alright, so you heard what Dogara said. Can you comment on his
well, I'm excited that Dogara is already involved in energy transition and clean energy activities. So I'd like to encourage him to acquire more capacity, strive to excel in it, and not be daunted by the challenges of the environment. One of the challenges that young people have is this power issue. How do you work when for 2 weeks there was no power? I was saying to myself, how do you grow an economy in this type of an environment? There is no power, people can't move. The cost of very soon in Plateau State, the only vehicle you will find on the road is this Gida bus. Because if you go out there, the roads are almost empty because of the cost of fuel.
Okay. I think we have another call coming in. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon. Who's on the call?
Okay,
Okay, welcome back. Yes, you're welcome back, Dugara. Go ahead. Okay. Yes, I can hear you. If I get you clearly, you seem to have invented a device that. Hello, yes, go ahead, Dogara. You're still on. All right. Thank you very much, Dogara, for your contribution.
Thank you, Dogara. I will also suggest to you that you can also acquire this skill, the solar power, this skill, either in the manufacture or the maintenance or the installation. That will also add to your ability to generate income, and you also be contributing to clean energy transition in Nigeria. Thank you very much. Well done.
As he also made mention that he's also training other young Nigerians.
Yes,
so not only is he an entrepreneur, he's also a trainer and a facilitator, which is remarkable.
Yeah, that's very good.
All right, we have another call. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, okay, Simi calling us from where? Okay, Simi from Berkin Ladi. Good afternoon and welcome on the program. So it's good morning. Okay. Go ahead.
Welcome, Simi. I'm excited that you are involved in the mining sector. What area are you? What level of the sector are you involved in? Are you in the active mining, or you provide support services, or what exactly do you do? Okay, what type of services do you provide? think first of all, what you need is to acquire the skills. The skills you need to build your skills as an individual to understand the technology involved. To acknowledge, to understand the technology, as for instance, the solar power, for instance, understand the technology. It's not an exclusive field for men. You have many women involved in the solar technology. So understand the technology, either as an entrepreneur or as a technician, or as a service provider. So you choose an area you are interested in and you think that you are very comfortable in, and you build your capacity in that area. Then when you build that capacity, your capacity in that area, you now see that you are able to operate in the area. In the area, there are several places in Jos where you can access training to acquire the capacity on solar technology. So if you go to that place, they will build your capacity. Then you become an active player in the energy transition sector. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Simi. And don't forget, you can reach out to Ziva, the sponsors of this program, on Facebook. Go to Facebook and search for Ziva Community Initiative. Ziva Community Initiative, that's ZIVA Community Initiative. And also on Instagram, you can follow them on Instagram by searching for Ziva Community NG. Ziva Community NG, one word. Community, Ziva Community NG, one word. And also you can find them on YouTube, Ziva Community Initiative. That's for YouTube, Ziva Community Initiative, for more information and how you can get more sensitization, as my guest Mr. Duke said, so that you can find your proper placement on the value chain and know how to be more effective in that regard. Thank you very much,
Simi. It will surprise you that at Ziva, most of the staff there are young ladies like you. So I'm sure that you will find the place very comfortable interacting with them, either physically or virtually. So make well to reach out to them so that you can get more information. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Listener, this is still Radio Nigeria Highland 100, 101.5 FM Jos, and the program is the radio engagement brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative with a focus on ASM, that is artisanal and small scale miners in energy transition and climate mitigation in Nigeria. And we're discussing key issues, and today we're looking at the role of youth organizations as emerging powerful advocates and innovators and leaders, helping to shape and drive Nigeria's move towards clean energy and sustainability. And my guest in the studio is Mr. Duke Oboreke, a pacesetter and a youth advocate. And I want to appreciate you, Simi, for calling in, and also Dogara. The number to call if you want to be part of the program, listener, is 081 3457 8825. That's 080 3457 8825. Not forgetting, you can reach Ziva on their social media handles. There's Facebook, Ziva Community Initiative. That's for Facebook, Ziva Community Initiative. And for Instagram, it's Ziva Community NG, one word. Ziva Community NG, one word. And YouTube, it's Ziva Community Initiative. Ziva Community Initiative, YouTube. I do believe we have another call coming in. Hello, good afternoon. Oh. Okay, how to... Okay. Okay. All right. I understand your question. All right, I understand your question. And like I said, is through engagement, and that is why this radio engagement program is here, to create more awareness and to sensitize the youth on what to do and how to get it done. And the first thing you need to do is to reach out to such community, to such organizations like Ziva. That is why I've been calling out their social media handles, so you can reach out to them and get more sensitization and get that engagement that you need.
Dogara, like I said, you see, the first point is to acquire the requisite capacity. Because if you don't have the capacity, you cannot operate. You cannot operate in the sector. So to acquire the requisite capacity, she has to go to organizations. There are several organizations within jobs where she can access such capacity that would enable her operate within the sector. I don't want to mention the names. There are several organizations that have built capacity of young people on solar technology, biotechnology, wind technology, and the rest.
All right, we have another call. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome on the program. Yes, hello, good afternoon. Yes, hello, I can hear you. You're on to the Ziva Community Initiative Radio Engagement Program. Good morning. Afternoon. Okay, please go ahead. What is your name and where are you calling us from? All right, Olatunji. Thank you, Olatunji.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm aware that there are several initiatives by the federal government to provide opportunities for young people to acquire capacities. I think what the call we will make is to challenge state governments and even local governments, since they have enough resources, rather than giving people wheelbarrows and achabas. I think we should transit to building the capacity of our young persons in very sustainable areas like the energy sector. If our political leaders would invest the huge resources at their disposal to empowering their constituents, even if you don't do it for somebody, at least focus on you have enough young people within your constituency, instead of giving them wheelbarrows and giving them achabas. Let's invest, let our political and well-meaning members of our organizations invest in those areas. What my organization do here is, if we get the funding, we recognize communities, we mobilize the youths, and we get service providers to build their capacity in that area. So probably we will also encourage other non-governmental organizations to shift their focus to energy transition, because it's a reality. It's a fact that the climate change is having effect on our lives. It's affecting food security. That is one of the issues that is driving insecurity and conflict all over the world. So it is something that we must deliberately invest in, to see that yes, we don't depend solely on fossil fuel. We can have reliable and sustainable source of clean energy, so that our youths are not left behind, because other climes are investing hugely in building the capacity of their young people, and their young people are contributing significantly to their national development. So I will appeal to our governors. I don't know whether Plateau State Governor has a special advisor on clean energy. If he doesn't, he should appoint one, so that person will always remind him of the need to invest on clean energy transition, so that our youth would acquire the capacity to be able to participate in that area. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Olatunji. I hope that addresses your issues, and if it helps, don't forget you can reach out to Ziva Community Initiative on their social media handles. The first is Ziva Community Initiative, that is Facebook, Ziva Community Initiative, that's for Facebook. Instagram is Ziva Community NG, one word, Ziva Community NG, and on YouTube, just go to Ziva Community Initiative, Ziva Community Initiative, and I'm sure when you reach out, you get more information. And I'm sure quite soon Ziva will be having a training in this regard for ASMs. So just stay tuned to the program, keep listening in, and I'm sure the requisite information will come your way shortly. All right, 08034578825. That's the number to call if you want to be part of the program. 08034578825. Call in and be part of these radio engagement brought to you by Ziva Community Initiative, with a focus on ASM, that's artisanal small-scale miners in energy transition and climate change mitigation in Nigeria. All right, so while we still wait for one or two calls before we wrap up today's edition of the program, I asked a question before the calls started coming in. We're talking about challenges and barriers to these youth organizations in pushing for energy reform. What kind of support is needed for them? What are the challenges, and what kind of support do they need?
Well, I think globally, one of the challenges that young people have is the issues of policies and policy consistencies, particularly in Nigeria. You see that no matter how beautiful a policy is, in most cases when you have a new regime, they abandon the previous policy of the previous government and begin to pursue something else, no matter how fine it is. So one of the challenges that young people have is these policy issues. Then secondly, the political will.
All right, sorry to interject. I think we have another call coming in. Hello, good afternoon. Afternoon and welcome on the program.
Thank you very much. Welcome.
Okay. Please go ahead, make your contribution. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Hello?
Are you still there? I think we've lost him.
All right, I think we've lost that call. Anyway, his point was trying to make that the youth sometimes can be these challenges you were just enumerating on. they can be over reliant and dependent on government and focusing so much on theory without any practice. Yes, sir.
And you know there are opportunities out there. Most young people have phones, but what do they use their phones to do? There are YouTube sites that you can learn these things free of charge if you just want to. If you want to learn, there are opportunities there. There are free trainings out there. Most of them have phones. Why not use your phone more strategically for your own good rather than just following some funny characters? Use your phone to be productive so that you can contribute to. So like I was talking about policy, I also talked about the issue of political will. Several times our leaders just pay lip service to issues. There's a groundbreaking, but follow-up actions are not there. So our leaders need to walk the talk, invest adequately.
All right, I think we have another call. Hello? Yes, hello? Hello? Good afternoon, and welcome on the program. Hello, Gay Joseph. Okay. All right, thank you very much for that commendation. All right, sir, please go ahead.
Okay. So our leaders need to invest substantially in building the capacity of young persons. Like I recognize the fact that some of these skills are sometimes can be very beyond the financial reach of young persons. But that is why we have governments. But at the state and the local government level, I'm good at thing that the local government has gained autonomy. So I expect the local government chairman to invest the huge resources that are coming to them in that area, in building the capacity and empowering their people to be part of the energy transition program in Nigeria. Then one of the other challenges that the young people have is, like we have talked about capacity. Except you have the capacity, you cannot operate in that field. So our young people must accept the challenge and go out and acquire the capacity.
All right.
It is their responsibility to accept the challenge and go out. Nobody will give it to you free of charge.
All right. All right, finally, sir, before we wrap up today's edition of this engagement, if there are young listeners considering a career or involvement in ASM, what advice would you give those who are passionate about contributing to Nigeria's energy transition?
Well, climate change is real. Yeah? Climate change is real. So it's not something that will fizzle out tomorrow. It has come to stay. And we must, just like other climes, I was excited listening to, I think, the Minister for Energy of UAE, and I was overwhelmed by what they are doing. I was overwhelmed by what the investment they are making in the energy transition, because they know that tomorrow cannot be the same like today, and they must do things differently. So I would encourage young people to not to be daunted by the challenge. Climate change is real, it's far, we are seeing it. The rains don't come when they should come. Everywhere we are experiencing flooding. We are suffering food shortages because of the issues of climate change. We are being encumbered by conflicts as a result of climate activities. Herders are now leaving their traditional areas to move into where they will get fodder and grass for their cattle. So it is real. It is not a myth. It's not story. So it is an area that is very viable, that you need to acquire the capacity so that you can position yourself for the now and for the future. It's very sustainable.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, to you young listeners, remember every step towards a sustainable future counts, okay? Whether you are in a youth group, advocate for change, or simply make eco-friendly choices in your own life, you are contributing to a cleaner, greener Nigeria. All right, that's all for today's episode on our youth organization's drive for Nigeria's energy transition. A big thank you to our guest, Mr. Duke Oboreke, the youth advocate and a pace setter. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
I also want to thank those that called in, Yogara, Simi, Olatunji, and I think Zachary that called later. I didn't quite get your name, apologies for that. But nonetheless, your call and your contribution is highly appreciated. And Elejo Joseph, thank you very much for calling in on the program. So listen up, do well to join us same time next week as we continue exploring Nigeria's journey towards a sustainable future. Until then, take action where you can. And remember, together we can drive a positive change. My name is Stephen Ego. Good afternoon. All right. That was excellent. How was it? Yeah? Our producers, how was it? I didn't even say thank you to the producer.